Hey guys, how's it going? It's Douglas here from Drowned Boy Cosplay, and today I'm going to be showcasing all 11 of the major different paint changes that Papa One went throughout the entire Opus Eponymous cycle. These are pretty much in order, so I'm going to go ahead and show those to you. First up is the late 2010. This is the classic paint up. Pretty much straight black and white, very opaque colors. Teeth are very noticeable, a little bit of messed up around the mouth here, and nose is pretty short and big rounded off eyes. Next up is the early 2011. This was basically one of their next big live shows. Teeth are a little bit more messed up. It's harder to see parts of the mouth. You've got this white line running down the nose. Paint's a little bit more smeared and not nearly as clean, but overall, you know, still pretty good looking. After that, this was 2 weeks later. We don't really have a name for it, but basically paint was really rubbed off. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. A lot of paint's missing on the face. It seemed that the white spot that was on the nose was hastily covered up. You can still kind of see it, but they tried to smooth it over, and as you can see, it's more of a messy paint job. After that is the 2011 Hellfest. Now, this was for the Hellfest show, and it has really large looking teeth. It seems like they went in and added a little bit more white. It's still messy. There's some paint missing, but nose is definitely a little bit taller on this one, and the eyes look a little bit more menacing in my opinion. This is probably one of my favorite paint ups for sure. Next up is the Download 2011 show. A lot of face paint was missing for this one. It's really weathered. Not the most weathered, but it's got a good bit of black on the face, and recently there were some high-res pictures of this released that let us see it a little bit more. But a lot of the white's missing, and it's almost completely flesh tone, barely any white left on the face. After that's the Heritage Hunter. This is the most weathered for sure. It's basically the black is really faded out, the white is really faded out. Just very faint paint job. This was used for the entire Heritage Hunters tour, and overall is just a really weathered paint job, barely any paint left. After that is the Metal Hammer cover. Or the Mid-Opus 2011. As you can see, pretty much the entire mask has changed. Nose has got a little bit different shape. The eyes are vastly different, a lot more rounded off and just really peculiar shaped. So this mask really to me looks very sad. So that's kind of cool. There's really no teeth markings. It's just a very skeletal shaped face. After that is the weathered Mid-Opus. This is the same mask as the Metal Hammer, just extremely weathered, almost no paint left. There's really only one good picture of this, and it's got a little bit more weathering on it that we're not entirely sure what it is. We think it may be fake blood. We're not entirely sure, so we haven't added that yet, but the paint job itself is pretty much complete. Next up is the second weirdest mask. This was used for the Metal Maniacs photo shoot. Basically, it was just used for a magazine. It's a very short photo shoot. Not that many pictures of this out there. The ones that we could find are low res, but I think I nailed the paint job. Looks pretty sweet overall, and just has a really weird look overall with the lines on the mouth and the way the teeth are, and the jaw's disconnected at points, and it's just a really strange paint job overall. Alright, so then we had the late Opus 2012 mask. This was used for a lot of shows like the Orion Festival and just the shows around that time. This is when Papa switched to the white Chasuble with the black undertones, and it's black, white, and gold. Pretty awesome. Basically, the eye shape went under a complete change. The cheekbones look really different. The mouth, of course, doesn't have the teeth, if you will. Just a very skeletal look overall. Last but not least is one of the coolest, in my opinion. Technically, it's not a real Papa mask. It was worn by an impostor. Not many people know about this mask, but basically there was an actor who portrayed Papa One during the switchover from Papa One to Papa Two. There's really not any pictures of this, just a very short amount of video that we could find on YouTube, and had to go through and screenshot it. We pretty much just had to paint it based on what we could find. Alright, I want to give a huge thank you to my buddy Jacob. Thank you for all the reference pictures. You've been a ton of help. This guy went through hours and hours to find the best reference pictures he could for each one of these masks. Basically checked and made sure that I got everything done right so that I would have the most accurate copies out there. Huge thank you, Jacob. greatly appreciated.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Go ahead and click that notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video.
See you next time.